Hello, second grade. Welcome to Art with Mr. Mariani. I am Mr. Mariani, and today I'm going to be teaching you a little bit about perspective. What does that word mean? As an artist, we're always using perspective, but we got to know what the word means before we can use it. So let's take a look at this word perspective. Perspective. And perspective means how an artist looks at something and then makes it. So from how an artist sees, that's how an artist will then either paint, draw, sculpt that object. So if you think about perspective, we can also think about our eyes, the artist's eyes. We are always looking to use our eyes to help us with our perspective. So today I'm going to do an assignment with you guys that's pretty easy, I think, and it's going to go over perspective. We're going to learn 3 new words, but our first word for today is perspective. So you'll see as I'm going through this, I'm going to be using that word quite a bit. So let's get started. You need a sheet of paper, just a white sheet of paper. Mr. Mariani has this piece right here. This is great. Now, there are 2 ways to put your paper. There's the portrait, which is up and down, and then there's landscape, which is side to side. So up and down is thin, and that is portrait. Side to side is landscape, and that is wide. Let's put our paper nice and wide for landscape, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 3 horizontal lines across my paper. I'm going to make one kind of at the top, and I'm going to do one in the middle, and one at the bottom. So I have 3 lines, top, middle, bottom, top, middle, bottom. The top line, I'm gonna write this word very small, but I'm gonna write background. Then in the middle line, I'm going to write the word midground. And at the bottom, I'm going to write the word foreground. So you'll notice there's one part of each one of these words the same. Ground, ground, ground. I know. What is that word? We know what that means. When we're talking about a landscape, usually it means the grass, the stones. Sometimes it could even mean sand. It could be a lot of different surfaces, but ground is something we step on. So background, if we think about the word back, we know that the background is behind something. So if you ever watch a play, the props or the paintings or the objects behind the actors are a background. Midground means things that are in the middle. They're not at the front, but they're not at the back. They're right in the middle. So middle. Middle. Pretty easy, right? Then foreground, think about fore as front. That's what I like to think about. It's like, I remember it as front ground, but it's foreground, okay? Foreground is things that are at the very front of your picture, okay? So what we're going to do today is we're going to add in 3 different animals. And we're going to make one in the foreground, one in the midground, one in the background, okay? So let's start off. So I'm going to make this line again. And I'm going to turn this line into a brick wall. And how I do that is by making several more horizontal lines. And then go vertical, 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 vertical. And then in the middle of these lines, go vertical, 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 vertical. And then back in the middle. And I have a brick wall. Okay, so this is my brick wall. And behind my brick wall, I'm going to make an animal in my foreground. So let's go with a dog, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to draw a dog's face. Now, we all draw a dog's face is probably a little bit different. I'm going to make an easy dog by just making some basic shapes. Now, I know that I don't see the bottom of my dog, and that's okay. It's kind of, our dog is going to be kind of hiding behind this wall. Okay? Perfect. I can even put a little fur between its eyes. And my dog is in my foreground. Now, That's perfect. Now I'm gonna go to my midground. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna make a line, but I'm gonna skip where my dog is. I don't wanna draw through my dog. And I'm gonna go vertical, 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 vertical. Now remember, in the middle of the vertical, that's where my next line goes. This is a pattern. Vertical, 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 whoops, vertical, vertical. Now there's my next line. So what I might wanna do is I might make my foreground line a little bit darker, and I can make it darker by drawing over it a couple times. Now, if I have a dog in the front, why don't I put a cat behind the dog? So let's make a cat, start with a triangle nose, just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and make the same eyes as my dog. And my cat, though, has kind of triangle ears. And I'm gonna put some whiskers. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, the one thing I want you to notice is that my cat is a little bit smaller than my dog. And the reason why is the cat is in the midground. It's not in the foreground, not at the front, it's in the midground, so it's a little bit behind my dog. Now I'm gonna do one more animal, and then you guys are gonna be done for today. So let's get one more animal together. We did our bricks again with our verticals, our patterns. Now remember, we said when we do that, we wanna make our midground line a little bit darker so we can see where the cat's kind of hiding. Now the background, I'm gonna pick one more animal. Let's see. Today I think I'm gonna go with, let's see. Let's go with a rabbit. So now a rabbit, I'm gonna make my rabbit here. They have whiskers as well. And my rabbit's hiding behind that back wall. Now, we'll notice dog went bigger to medium to small. Foreground means big, medium, small. So this is your assignment for today. And then up here, you can make a sky if you want. You can color this in. You can make this as creative as you want. But we got to remember our words, background, midground, foreground, and that is using artist perspective.